Hey guys, well this has been a long time coming, hasn't it? Where has the last, if not couple of weeks, couple of months gone since I was last here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel with, of course, a tutorial. Gosh, work life has been absolutely crazy busy in a good way, and obviously I've had a little bit of a break as well just to recharge the batteries. So this is why it's taken quite a while to, get another tutorial done here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. So since I was last here, thank you so much for those that have still continued to hit that subscribe button here. Really appreciate it. For those that always go back and rewatch videos and give me the thumbs up, thank you so much. And then if you didn't know, because there's always new people joining YouTube, then if you hit that bell notification, that just then means that whenever I post a tutorial video, which my plan is to get back into the swing of it again and get them done on a more regular basis, hit that bell notification, then that just means whenever I do upload a brand new tutorial, then you'll get an alert just saying Craig Laird, Crafter's Companion, has posted a tutorial. Now, for those of you that are new or relatively new to these ones I do in my own time. So whenever I can try and just squeeze a little bit of free time out, then that's when I come along and do these tutorials. So it could be first thing in the morning like I'm doing today. I've got a couple of hours free before I have to get started when it comes to work, so I just thought, what will I do? I know, priority, get a tutorial done. So it could be morning, it could be late at night, it could be in the middle of the day when I'm having my lunch break and I'll jump on and do a tutorial. So yes, it can completely differ, but they're all done completely in my own time. That's why they can be a little bit sporadic at times, but it's lovely to have your company. As I always say as well, I know many of you do comment. I do see every single one. Unfortunately, I can't reply to every single one, but I can tell you I do see them all because I get an email notification with every single comment that is left. So I see them, if not via the comments on my YouTube channel here, or Crafter's Companion YouTube channel, it does mean that I do see them via the email. So thank you for everyone that does comment. I do try and answer, if there's specific questions, I try and answer them. But yeah, if I don't, then I am seeing them and I am reading them. So thank you so much. Now, when it comes to this one here, it's a little bit of well, when I say best of both worlds, what I try and do, because I do these in my own time, what I try and do is I try and mix, as many of you know, old and new. Sometimes I do go back to older products for those of you that have been with Crafter's Companion for a good number of years, and because I do it in my own time, that means I have that luxury of doing as I want and when I want. I will try and incorporate newer products, newer ranges, so we're getting that best of both worlds. Sometimes within this one today, it's actually a new product. It's new that hasn't been launched on Hobby Maker here in the UK. Now, of course, you know, if you're going to be watching this weeks, months down the line, then dates and all that are going to be kind of irrelevant. But if you're watching this within the time period that I'm posting this, then these haven't been on Hobby Maker, which I'm going to be launching next week. I'm not giving dates because it's going to be out of sync if you're watching this way down the line. But with this one here, I'm going to be launching on Hobby Maker next week. Have a look at today's date and you can kind of gather, you know, you're on track when it comes to the time frame. But these have launched on Crafters TV and that. So if you've already got them, great. You've got a tutorial now coming your way. If you are an avid follower of Hobby Maker and an avid fan, then of course you're going to see these with myself next week. And that is our cut in Flourish frame. Now let's get rid of that one because you don't want to see that popping up. Here we go. We've got them here. Now these are fab. I absolutely love these ones. Who would have thought you can get so creative when it comes to corner flourishing cut-in dies? And that's exactly what we've got here. Now we've got the opulent flourish, swirling flourish, fancy flourish, elegant flourish, ornate flourish, and decorative flourish. These are the ones that you've maybe already got, or these are the ones that you may be getting when you watch Hobby Maker with myself. So let's have a look. I think I'm going to go with that one. Fancy Flourish. I'm going to go with that one. But with all of these, what you've got your flourishing corners, and these cut in. So they're really, really good sizable dies. Cut into your actual cardstock. You can then ink, you can paper piece. When it comes to my demos on Hobby Maker next week, then you can see the different things that I'm going to do. One of them I'm going to do here within this tutorial. But we've got the big sizable dies here that are cutting in beautiful, elegant flourish to, of course, your card, your projects. It makes a statement piece, or of course, you know, you can just keep it very, very simple. We're going to keep it quite simple, but that's the one that we're going to use. Now, what we're also going to use is Sailor's Wake, and that is from our Duet ink pad. I've got some black card, white card. I'm going to use a Flourish die from the Ditzy Bloom from Sarah's Once Upon a Time. We're going to go way back to the Positive Thoughts, and we're going to be using one of the sentiment stamps from the Positive Thoughts. And then also from the Positive Thoughts, we're going to be using that beautiful mixed cardstock here. But it's going to be a lovely diddy little 4x6 card. So we're going to make our own 4x6. Now, as I tend to say 9 times out of 10, all my card blanks that I use are all pre-made. Here in the UK, we're so lucky with having so many size card blanks. Predominantly, mine are all from Sticks 2, but if you're not lucky enough to have pre-made card blanks, you can certainly make your own 4x6. Really, really simple here. So we're going to go from up above, and I've just taken A4 cardstock. Now 4x6, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep it really simple, and I'm going to score at the 4-inch mark, and then we can bring in our guillotine. So I'm just going to give that really, really good burnish. But bring in our guillotine here. Now, because we've scored at the 4-inch, we bring that up to the 4-inch mark. We're cutting exactly in line, twist and turn, and then we've got our 4x6. And in actual fact, I think I'm going to go bigger. Actually, I think I'm going to go. Actually, will I go? Let's do 5x7 instead. I'm just going to use my guillotine to score, because of course we can do that. Yeah, let's do 5x7. Gives me a little bit more space to work in. So we've got our 5x7 card blank, or of course, as I've just done there, and I can use it another time, 4x6. So card blank, all good to go. I'm going to just give that just another little bit of a burnish here. So let's start with our main layer. So let's take let's get another bit of white cardstock here. And if my card blank is 5x7, let's cut this to 4x6. Yeah. For do our white 4x6, we're going to come in with a bit of black. Now, I'm not going to go quite 1/4 of an inch bigger. What I'm going to do is let's go maybe a few mils after the 4-inch and a few millimeters after the 6-inch to give me a fine. So I just need to trim that just a little bit more. So let's do a little slither, because all that I'm wanting is a fine black matten layer. So that's just over 4x6. And then let's go in with our cardstock. So if we come in with what I've got left, I bet I've not got any more of that beautiful mirror teal, do I? What's that one? No, it's not going to be big enough. Typical. Might have to go for that pearl turquoise. Have we got any more of the mirror? No, I don't. No, I don't. Right, so that's going to have to do, which is going to be absolutely fine. So for this one, because let's do, so it was just over 4 by just over 6. So let's do just over 6 1/4 by just over 4 1/4. So hopefully that gives me just a little bit more of a bigger teal layer or turquoise layer, which it does. So we've got a fine black layer with a little bit of a bigger turquoise layer, which that will sit onto our card. Gives me my big white frame, which I like, as many of you know. If you don't, you can just trim your card blank or adjust the sizes to fill it more, but that's entirely up to yourself. So let's set that one out the way, and then I'm just gonna try, let's go back just so you're not looking straight overhead, while I'm just doing a quick bit of tidying here. And I'm going to be really quite good and try and tidy as I'm going. And the reason I'm specifically trying to be good is as soon as I finish this tutorial, it is a quick bit of lunch and then straight into the office. So if I can tidy as I'm going, and then that's going to save a job, which is great. Right. So that's that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of water-based technique inking on that top layer of the white cardstock. Now it's white smooth, our Crafter's Companion white cardstock that I'm using. You can use watercolour card if you want, but because I'm not actually going to be completely saturating my cardstock, I'm going to get away with actually using my white smooth cardstock. So this is when our Sailor's Wake comes in, and I've got some water here. So let's go on to our glass mat, just like that. And then I'm just going to move my card blank out the way so I don't get like white splatters. Let's take our heat tool. So I've got that good to go. Let me just plug that in at the base. Now we've got our heat gun. I'm going to take a quick drink as well. And then I've got my paintbrush just with water. I'm going to take some of that off. Pop that in. And then I'm just going to tap all the way around, creating our own background. And this is what we're going to cut into. If you find it sore on your finger, you can just use, you could use, maybe you wouldn't necessarily use your heat tool, but you can use your scissors, or you can use something heavy to tap off to. But I'm just going to keep working my way around, and this is why I'm happy to use my white card, because I'm not, as you can see, overly saturating my card. And that I'm quite happy with. That is all I'm going to do. Move that out of the way so I don't spill it or drink it. And then let's clean all that up. Now I could have done a couple of more layers, leave to dry and use at a later date with that excess, but we're just going to get rid of that. And let's dry this off. So for this, because we're going to cut straight into it, it is key that we really do dry it completely. Now you can leave it to dry naturally. Wherever possible, I always try and leave things to dry naturally. But sometimes we don't always have that time. And if you do it with your heat tool, it's absolutely fine. What you will find is your card might start to bend and buckle slightly, which is fine. Using your strong adhesive, or of course, flip it over, heat from the back as well, and then that's going to help just flatten it out. So we're just going to make sure we've got a really, really good coverage of heat to dry it off, like so, and that should be fine. Just give it a last little bit of a heat, like so, and then there we go. Now I'm going to just any condensation, let's just wipe that off, and then we've got our background. We're just going to leave it for a second just to cool down ever so slightly, let the fibres just relax, and let's bring in our ditzy blue. Now I'm going to go in with, I think I'm just going to use the same, no, let's use both of these ones. And let's take a bit of black, and then let's take a bit of white. So we don't need all of that, and we don't need all of that. So I'm just going to bring in my MIDI here. These ones will work with your mini as well. However, I'm going to use my MIDI to cut the flourish, so therefore I'm just going to use my MIDI. Let's pop that, and in actual fact what I can't do, I can still use my MIDI, but instead of the MIDI folder, let's just use my mini folder. Now I'm using my Mojito MIDI that I bought from Hobby Maker. So you can still get it from Hobby Maker. It's an exclusive colour, true Hobby Maker. And then let's take a pokey tool. So there's one, and then there's two. So I can dispose of that, and that. Let's put these ones back. And then while I am here, let's cut our flourish. So if I take my flourish, let's bring in my folder, and let's bring in my card. Now, although they're called like your corner ones, you don't necessarily have to pop them straight into the corner. So let's go to here, and then I don't want to have a high tack, so I'm just going to use some masking tape that I've got. It's just from Sticks 2's masking tape to hold down, and then this will of course go through any of your Gemini machines or any of your die cutting machines. I'm just doing MIDI, and then I'm just going to roll that one through. I'm going to go back again, so it's just kind of a habit that I have when it comes to any of our MIDIs. Move that, and then if I then peel that away and peel that away, we've got the flourish, that beautiful flourish that's cut in. So let's then move that. I'm going to move it out the way because I don't need that anymore. I'm going to get oops. I'm going to go in with my pearls. Now I'm looking for black. So these are just hunky-dories that I've got. Have I gone past black? Sure I've got black. Is that black? Yes, there we go. There we are. So just going in with the black pearl. Let's move that out of the way. Let's take my stamping mat. So I want to add a little bit of shape to these. Now, as I always say, so I always like to use my stamping mat. Look how minging that is. But if I'm adding a bit of shape, I'll turn it over and I'll go to the bottom corner, because if I start to shape in the middle of my stamping platform, that can potentially affect any stamping in the future, because I could get some indentations. So therefore, I'm going to just go to the bottom. Let's take my glue. I've not used this for a couple of weeks, so let's see, I might need to bung it with my little needle. So let's, my little wire, let's see if I can get that in here. Should have checked this before, but hey ho, we'll get there. We're getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. There we go, it should be fine. So I'm just going to go into the black, and then I'm going to pop the white over the top. I'm just going to offset it, and then I'm just going to press in to hold. Just while I'm doing that, I'm just going to take a drink. And then we've got our little flower here. Now you could actually shape it with a ball tool or that, but you can see I'm not. Just pressing down to shape it. Adding a little bit of glue into the centre, because I'll do it with all gems and pearls. Doesn't matter how incredible the quality are, and I know I say that time and time again, but I will always add glue. And that one, we're just going to pop a little black gem or pearl in the centre here. You can see. So that's that one. And then the other thing that we'll need to do is let's do our sentiment before we start to build our card. So let's take our stamping platform and let's go in with You Can and You Will. It's a nice one. You Can and You Will. So this is going to fit on any of these little... Oh, that'll be fine. So let's stick that down. What I'm going to do is let's come as far to that side as we can. I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap at the left hand side. I'm not overly concerned about the right hand side because we can trim that down. So let's just get that aligned up, he says. Right, I think that's it. Now, I don't think I've used that stamp before, so just in case, I'm just going to give it a light coating with a translucent clear ink pad. You know, I do that quite a lot. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm just going to go in with a black. I'm using my waterproof black. Another thing I say time and time again, for some reason I just find that seems to give more of a crisper, clean image. And obviously we're not doing anything water-based, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I can see that bubbling on the top, or bobbling on the top, which means I've not used it before. So let's just give much more of a better coverage with the translucent clear. You only need to do that once with a stamp. So if I use this stamp again, I don't need to go over the translucent clear. It's just taking away any of the residue from the stamp material. And then we've got you can and you will. Beautiful. So let's clean that off. And then let's move that out the way. And we're going to trim our sentiment. And we're going to give a very fine black matting layer. So let's take that here, and then I am going to put you on pause because my door's going. And that's a prime example that I do these in real time because that was my door. And if anyone wants to know, it was a QVC parcel yet again being delivered there. Right, where were we? Let's go back there we are. So we've got our sentiment. I'm going to trim that a little bit more. Yeah, for anyone that is new, with these, I don't edit these whatsoever. That's the prime example there of whatever happens while I'm filming these, you get to see. And you guys, I know you prefer, you know, unedited, because you get to see everything from start to end. So I've trimmed that. If anyone wants to know, it's roughly 2 inch by 3/4 of an inch. And let's take our bit of black. Now I'm going to make it easier for myself. And then let's take our blue and add that into the corner. Fine black matting layer. However, I'm going to cut that flush to the right hand side, because this is actually going to go to the bottom right hand side. So let's just align to give us a thick, there we go. So we've got top, bottom, left hand side, we've got a black matting layer, and then we're flush to the right hand side. So let's assemble. Let's move that. So we've got our little flower. Just going to lightly flatten it. And then we've got our flourishing background. And then we've got our card. What we can also do as well is let's just do our blank insert that I like to do. So it's 5 by 7. So let's do 4.5 by 6.5. And 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So when it comes to, I'm just going to trim it slightly. For those who always watch these, I know certain things I always repeat myself, as I'm away to say now. So that insert, even although I don't know who I am going to be giving it to, I like to at least put a blank insert in. So then it's ready to go, and all that I need to do is stamp my sentiment or print, or my verse, sorry, print my verse and stick it in. So that's good to go. And the actual matting layer, so this one I'm doing black. So my rule of thumb, and it's just my rule of thumb because I think it works on the eye, whatever the darkest layer, whatever the darkest colour you use on the top, that's what I then use as the matting layer. So for my card, the darkest colour that I'm using is black. So it's black that I'm using for the matting layer. So that's just the way that I like to do it. But it's not set in stone, there's no rules. You could do your teal or turquoise if you want to, or you could just take a really, really nice quality 80 GSM paper, fold it in half, trim it to 5x7 or just shy of 5x7 and pop that in, and then you'll have kind of like your loose leaf insert. So let's take that one off. That we're going to pop inside here. So let's pop that in. Just going to make sure that giving that a burnish. Then we can take, so this one, because we've got detail on it, I'm going to use my glue here. So I'm just using my tacky glue. You can use your Collal glue, if you've got your Collal glue, of course. When I'm at home, my adhesives is sticks too, so this is their tacky glue. Your dotty tape runner would be good for this one. As I say on here, when I'm at home and I've got that little bit more time, I like to use my tacky glue with the little applicator. And all I'm kind of doing, I'm trying to touch base with most of the little intricate lines, but I'm not being overly pernickety. I'm kind of just sketching. You can see how quick that I'm doing it, because your glue will expand when you press down. But on the other hand, I don't want lots of glue because I don't want it all to kind of splurge out once I press. So that's going to go onto my black card. So then that black is going to shine through, well, not shine through, but it's going to come through your Flourish. And then let's press that in. If you do get a bit of glue just popping through, don't worry, because it's a black matte cardstock. It will dry and you won't see it. So I'm just going to keep on pressing just for a moment, and then there you can see that Flourish. Now the great thing with something like that, you can go horizontal, you can go portrait if you want to. You've got options that could go further in the corner. The cardstock could be bigger and you could go into the corner. Cardstock could be bigger and you could do a couple if you want to. You could do selective paper piecing if you want to as well. So you've got lots and lots of craftability when it comes to something like this. And it's because you've got that large size, it really, really is a good visual statement piece. So let's add my tissue tape. You can use your adhesive of choice. We're going to run that all the way around. Once again, this is just sticks twos tissue tape. Now, all these layers I am going to keep completely flat. There is not, shock horror, hold on to your seats, there is not a foam pad in sight, but it's because I've got that little bit of shape to the flower that's adding the kind of natural height. So let's, alternatively what I could have done is on the back layer add foam pads onto the turquoise and then pop the turquoise on flat. So let's pop that onto there. This is what I mean by it could go that way. Obviously if you have your card blank the other way, it could go that way, but we're going to keep it that way. We're going to go in with our sentiment down here. So if we bring our sentiment equally, this could be on a foam pad if you want. Let's take that off here. And the reason I've gone flush is because I am going to go flush to the right hand side, and then we're going to bring in a little flower, and that, just want to make sure you can see the U, and I'm going to then just press that in like so. And I tell you to offset it, let's take, or offset and balance that petal, let's do 3 tiny petals, black petals. So that's, I had the glue off it. I don't want to waste it. Let's pop that in, straighten that in a moment. That's that. And then that is that one. Let's align that up. Make that a little bit straighter. Got that wiggle room with the glue, and then it will dry completely clear. Yep, there we go. And then there we are. We've got our 5x7 card. We've used the Fancy Flourish. So we've used the Fancy Flourish. We've used Sailor's Wake Duet ink pad, black card, white card, turquoise card from the Positive Thoughts, and also the sentiment is from the Positive Thoughts, and the flower is from Sarah's Ditzy Floral Once Upon a Time. And then there we go. Really, really cute card. Elegant card, sophisticated card that you can see. So if I bring that a little bit closer for you to see there. Really, really nice. And obviously you could colour theme that. It could be completely different colours if you want to. It could be pinks. So I would just substitute the turquoise for pink or yellow or orange or red or greens, whatever it is that you want to do. But you've got that option. So then there we go. If you've got your hands on that collection from Crafters TV, then of course you can craft away with that. As it is, if you're watching this tutorial roundabout in real time, then I'm going to have them on Hobby Maker the following week. Of course, if you're watching this a couple of weeks out of the date that I've posted this, then the times Hobby Maker is going to be null and void. But there you go. You've got your large flourishing corner dies that you can get creative with. Loads and loads and loads of different ways in which you can get creative with them. Thank you so much for joining me here on my Crafters Companion YouTube channel. I hope you like what you have seen. Let's hope, fingers crossed, we're going to be back into a little bit of a routine when it comes to these tutorials here. Mixing and matching like I do predominantly, what I love to do, old and new. So yes, looking forward to doing the next one already. If you like what you've seen there, give me the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and then if you want to hit that bell notification so that you will be well, alerted whenever I post a tutorial. Have a lovely rest of the week. Have a lovely day, whatever you are up to, crafting, working, chilling, whatever it is. But take care, and we'll see you soon on Craig Laird Crafters Companion YouTube channel. Doodles!